trying to explain these concepts and principles in a way that everyone can understand them within the limited 10-minute time frame that's given to me on YouTube initially is quite difficult. Now, I think I do a fairly decent job, but I do need to back up a bit because I need to emphasize the law of polarity. It really is key to everything else. No matter how experimental, complex, or advanced you think your magic is, it has to fall in line with the 7 Hermetic principles. And if it doesn't, it's not going to work. Everything comes back to the 7 Hermetic principles. The law of polarity being one of the main ones. And I'm not saying that you can't do magic if you're polarized. Certainly you can. But it'll end up being a one-sided type of black versus white magic trapping that you'll end up falling into. There are many practitioners of magic who are polarized. You see it all the time. But the truly adept magician has depolarized himself. Now there is a flip side to being depolarized, and it has to do with the warning I gave you in the introduction. For those in neutrality have a difficult time relating to those who are polarized. While those who are polarized have difficulty relating to the opposite pole, those in neutrality have difficulty relating to either side, to either pole. Now we can have a far better understanding of those sides and what motivates and drives them, but you'll have a far more difficult time relating to it because you're not in that polarized state yourself. Now, talking to a polarized person a lot of the time is like talking to a 5-year-old. Certainly you can have a conversation with a 5-year-old, but you're not going to really relate to them unless you're around the same age. And you can understand where they're coming from because you've been there before at one point. But relating to them now is quite difficult. Am I alone in thinking that Anakin, during that entire saga, acted like a spoiled little brat child? Well, granted, in the first episode, he was a child. But even then, he acted more mature and grown up because he wasn't completely polarized yet. Now, you can't remove yourself completely from the poles, those terminals to the great electrical circuit. Otherwise, you die. Absolute neutrality is stagnation, and stagnation is death. So you can't remove yourself completely from the poles, but you can start to bring balance between the poles using the middle pillar ritual and grounding exercises and a host of other means. And this will begin to help depolarize you. Got to bring balance to the force? Yeah, it's in there. And if you don't think that George Lucas is a great magician, who else has manifested more material wealth for the least amount of work? Now, I could draw from various other movies, and in time I may, but Star Wars has the most Hermetic principles packed into it than any other, despite its cheesy sci-fi exterior. And plus, most people have seen it. So this is why they're always going on about bringing balance to the force. That force is within you, and it utilizes the law of polarity. And by balancing the forces between the poles, they combine to create their own unique state and perspective. See, everything begins with the perspective of the mind, the law of mentality, which eventually we'll get to. And since everything begins with the perspective of the mind, if you start with an unbalanced, polarized perspective, then everything that follows will be unbalanced and polarized. I mean, this should make sense to people. If you don't like the things that somebody says or posts in a comment or on Facebook, you should ask yourself why you care. What does that mean to you? What threat is that to you? Who are they to get you all in a twist? Why the need to blurt out opinions to someone with the opposite opinion that isn't going to do very much good anyway, because they're just as polarized as you are. And when you understand this law of polarity and you become balanced, it's easier to understand this whole process from the top down. And you're not really against anyone. I mean, at the risk of polarizing some of you even further, I'm not even against the Illuminati. I don't really care for the things that they do, but I can't really say that I'm against them because they adhere to the law of consent and contract. Who am I to interfere with your contracts that you consensually entered into? I have no business interfering with that. Now, you may think that they force things on you, but there's a maxim of law that says, let he who would be deceived be deceived. They're just playing a game for world domination. If you don't understand the rules of the game, whose fault is that? And you'll begin to see when we get into the law of consent and contract, when you start playing by the rules, their rules, and start turning them around on them, you'll see what a bratty, spoiled little Anakin child these corporate entities can become. They do not like that at all. But it needs to be done from a balanced position, because they want you in conflict. They want you polarized. That's where they excel. See, if you're really so against the Illuminati, the first thing you should do is stop calling them the Illuminati. You're praising them when you say that. It means the enlightened ones. Well, who wouldn't want to be called that? Who do you think came up with that term? Or how about this one? The powers that be. Well, you're just reaffirming their position of power over you when you say that. Perspective of the mind. Everything begins there. The exercise I gave you 2 lessons ago about accepting or rejecting the thoughts that come into your mind plays into the law of consent and contract. And we'll cover that further down the road more extensively. But for now, I'm hoping you can understand the law of polarity a little bit better and see the necessity to strive to become more balanced and not feel this need to react to a differing opinion as if your entire existence is at stake. And this is another reason why silence is so important in magic. It's one of the first things you train in, so you know when to shut up and hold your tongue while you're in the process of depolarizing yourself. Silence is to sound what empty space is to form. The magical sigils that you'll create. The empty space around that sigil is just create. The empty space around that sigil is just as important as the drawing of the sigil itself. In fact, that sigil couldn't exist without.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's the Ceremonial Witch back already up in this bitch. I'm going to try to keep this down to 1 episode today, but I cannot guarantee that that will happen. Yesterday and today I've been using the kids downstairs headset that they use for their Xbox Live bullshit and talking to friends bullshit and all that bullshit. So I don't know if it's better or worse, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the shows yesterday. And that part where I said Napoleon Dynamite, and then I had to come during the live program and fix what I said. I was not going to leave it as Napoleon Dynamite when I'm referring to Napoleon Hill. Not because of people making fun of me and shit like that, which, whatever. If they did, they did. For one, like I said, I don't really have contact with anybody. Haven't checked my email in a while, but I'm pretty sure no one has tried to contact me or anything like that. And that's fine. Like I said, my wife already has an issue with me doing this shit. Not an issue, but you can just tell, it bugs her. She's maybe fearful or worried that something may happen or I make it popular. Or it could be just the fact that she worries that, I'm going to, I don't really know. I don't know how to explain what I can feel inside is going on with her internally, but I know there's something going on. But anyways, so I I played a freighter clip there, and the part I want to focus on is where he said there's a maximum of law, when he's referring to the Illuminati, there's a maximum of law that states, he who will be deceived, let them be deceived. Something to that effect was the wording. So that's what I want to focus on today, because it ties into polarity, it ties into the banishing of the thoughts, it ties into what I talked about, opposition and rising above. It hits so many different things, okay? And if I have time at the end of this, if that doesn't take too much time, I will start off all this, what I keep saying, we're going to get into some more cooler shit and better shit, egregores and astral travel. And, well, maybe not astral travel because, like I said before, I haven't done that yet. But I've been getting better at lucid dreaming. Being awake and aware during my dreams has increased tremendously in the last few months. I have done outer body experiences. First time was by accident, and I told you I think I did it twice last time I talked about it, and now that's increased as well to about 6 times. They generally happen when I have a lack of sleep. However, I'm not doing the lack of sleep because I want to do the outer body experience, but because I haven't gotten enough sleep. I figure, what the hell? It worked last time, I'll try it, and, I get myself into the trance state, and there's a few other things I do, and I get there. So, those are the things I'm going to talk about. I don't want to waste too much time because I may run out of time, and I do want to talk about the other thing I want to talk about, and it's not going to be those cool things I just mentioned, but it's going to be something a little different than the regular ritual, ceremonial magic, ceremonial witchcraft shit I've been teaching. And you probably notice I talk more about reprogramming your mind than anything. I have had a few episodes where it was just strictly, excuse me, I'm just trying to see how far I can go with this headset. A few episodes where it's been just strictly talking about how to do the lesser banishing and shit like that. I gave you the ritual, I played a radio gospel, I put down the Earl Nightingale, how to manifest. I've given you exactly how I manifested. I've given you books where I pulled the manifestation out. I give you my first sigil, I give you my first ever law of attraction way to manifest things. I've given you the sigils right out of it. I give you 2 sigils. One where you put the dollar amount inside the Jupiterian sigil from Financial Sorcery, and I've given you the good luck sigil. There's only 2 sigils on there as for my pictures, so I've given you lots of things to manifest already. And the thing, if I have time to get into today, is also going to be a way to manifest, but it's not with candles or sigils or law of attractions. It does involve spells and stuff like that. But, oh, 1 second, my son just got here. Give me 1 moment and I'll be right back to teach you. Alrighty, so I'm back outside. So the point was there was lots of things I've helped with, that I've given you to do, to practice, to manifest. Now, whether those things work or not work, well, I don't know. It depends how depolarized you are and how in sync with nature you are, and how if you reprogrammed your mind or not. If you realize you are programmed to fail or to not be successful or not to be financially stable, or if you realize that and you've reprogrammed your mind through affirmation and magic ritual and all these different things, well, then it'll work. And if I have time to get to what I want to get to today, this will also help because it's a way to directly affect your emotions as well. So yeah, that's what we'll get into if we can. But Cece, no. Sorry about that. My daughter's playing on my journey, and she's pretending to drive, and it's cute. But anyway, so today we want to talk about that maxim of law that says, "He who will be deceived, let him be deceived." What does this mean? Well, it means a bunch of things to different people. It's a maxim of law. I've given you, I haven't told you outright where this is stated, so you will have to do your homework and try to find it. It's not in plain sight. You can look up universal laws, you can look up maxims of laws, you can look in the Kabbalion, you can look in various places, and you will look between the lines and find this, or you can outright find where it is. It doesn't matter. But even if you can't find it, it's still something you need to understand. Kind of why I went through the polarization, where the negative half of the atom, the thing I went through yesterday, where Napoleon Hill talks about the negative half of the atom and why it's important to understand that, it doesn't matter if you believe in what he says or not, that you understand that negativity, positivity, or negative and positive are both built right into the fabric of us. You got a proton, you got a neutron, you got an electron. And in spiritual jargon, spiritual words, spiritual speak, that's negativity, positivity, and neutrality. Depolarization is the art of being neutral, being between both of those. You don't want to be super positive, you don't want to be super negative, you want to be right between both. Now there's bad things that come along with that, or maybe not bad things, but some maybe not so ideal situations that have its own issues. But once again, being depolarized, you can take it or leave it, and there are specific things you should do to make sure that those things may or may not happen. Anyways, but that's all we're going to get in here today. If you're one of those people that believe in the Illuminati or the powers that be, or some kind of an evil elite foundation or group, secret society that runs this world for whatever reason, well, you're going to have some fucking issues. You're going to have the same issues if you believe money is evil and Satan is running Hollywood and all that. If that's something you believe in, then it's something you equate. If you think there's dark magicians running the show and doing evil things behind the scenes, well, you're going to have some problems. And I'm not saying that those things don't happen. There's definitely clearly something going on that could be explained by those theories, but once again, they are just theories. They're just theories people have passed out there to get you to think that that is happening, that is real. If you can deceive somebody, well, let them be deceived. People are trying to deceive you with that. What goes along with that, let's say there actually is a group called the Illuminati, and they've constructed that word, because if you look up the word Illuminati, if you look into the Illuminati, you'll see that there was an actual group that was called the Illuminati, and they were forced to be dismantled. I want to say in the 1800s, but it could have been in the 1600s, 1700s. I'm not sure. I was looking into that stuff, and then I stopped because I realized it wasn't going to do me any good, and I needed to learn how to take care of myself before I try to expose some evil group that basically wants to be exposed, because the more they're exposed, the more people believe in them, the more power they will get, and the less you're going to use your magic to actually help yourself. This is the whole, well, let he who will be deceived kind of crap. And this is part of that. This is 100% part of that. Give me one moment. Alright, and I'm back. I won't bore you with what I had to stop for that time. Anyways, so by getting you to focus on what they want you to focus on, such as them being the all-powerful group controlling the world and this and that, not only are they diverting your energy and power and your focus power, because you're using your mind to focus on what they want you to focus on. Like I said, or I may not have said this, but there's been other people that said this. Maybe not so subtly, maybe subtly. But your power is what you focus on. Your mind, your thoughts, what you say. Okay? If you're thinking about the Illuminati, you're talking about the Illuminati, and you're, putting emotion and fear into what you think they're doing, well, what kind of magic are you doing? What kind of manifestations are you manifesting? How are you helping yourself? You're not. You're helping them. Understand that the more I looked into that stuff, the more crazy it got. And there's more videos coming out, more information coming out, more dark energy. And just because you see them getting arrested and people getting caught for things doesn't make that fake or real. These people are actors, understand that. Well, if you're looking at the Hollywood stuff, a lot of these people are actors and actresses. Is it really that hard for them to pretend to be an evil person? Is it really that hard to pretend that they're going to jail and being distraught? Is it really that hard for them to pretend they're a crazy drug addict because the choice they've chosen is, they sold their soul to the devil to be an artist or to be a Hollywood star? It's not that fucking far-fetched. They're just playing a fucking role. And if you're going to believe what you see, well, he will be deceived. Let them be fucking deceived. And I'm not judging. And I'm not saying that I'm not judging. I'm not saying that I never did this, because that's not true. I believed in all this. This is what led me to where I am today. So I am thankful for them doing that. And truth be told, I'm not completely convinced that they don't play those parts and don't make the songs or make the movies or pretend to be dying from a drug addiction because they can't handle all the death and murder and destruction, that they don't have these specific whistleblowers out there that will only make vague statements and not actually give names, and too scared to give a name and all this crap. I'm not saying that none of that isn't true, and I'm not saying that you're a fool for believing in that. I am thankful for those guys doing it. I just don't think there's any point in focusing on it, and I only half believe those stories. And it's not even like I half believe them. It's more like, well, it could be true and it can't be true, and if this person really wanted to expose these people, he wouldn't just be saying this stuff is happening, but I can't say any names. But then in the same interview saying, I'm going to expose them all, and then the next time I come out, I'll give names, and the next time they come out, they don't give names, they give the same interview over and over again, and they're just getting more press, and they get a movie deal after. I mean, come on. They're just deceiving all of us. And for some of us, we get deceived to the point where it's like, okay, we've seen this how many times now, and it's not getting any better. Yeah, they just keep saying there's more names and there's more people getting charged, so it's just a show. They're just saying, okay, yeah, we charged all these people, but really, did they charge these people? Is it real? Is it really real? I mean, I can give you a whole bunch of ways to get away with not paying your loans, and how to pay the bank with promissory notes, and to, if you are caught doing something illegal or a traffic violation, at least here in Canada, I can give you many ways to tell the cops to leave you alone and that they can't have grounds to pull you over, because your license, at least here in Canada, in the province of Ontario, that's for moving commercial items, is what everybody's license is for. So technically, if you're riding a car and you're not using it for a business purpose, they don't really have technical grounds to actually pull you over and give you any fines or anything like that. That's why traffic court, getting a fine isn't illegal. But yet they can give you a fine because you were illegally going over the speed limit, but yet it's not an illegal offense. There's so many gray areas there. So if you can prove that the law, or going to court, the justice system, isn't really real for us regular people, then what would make you think the movie stars it's real? No, it's a big show to keep you in line. Now, there are people that do bad things, and there are people that go to court, and there are people that go to jail, and I'm not saying that shit's fucking fake or not needed if someone is a murderer, or someone is a rapist, or someone has done some evil, bad things. But what I am trying to say is the stuff you see about Illuminati groups and reptilian groups and alien groups that are all evil and all trying to fuck us over and kill us all and all this other bullshit. Do not fucking believe it. Use it for what it is. A crazy story that will help you become awake and help you realize that there's probably only 25% of that's probably true. And it all comes back to that maxim of law. Let he who will be deceived be deceived. I think I finally got it right that time. So all that crap is that. And your verbal contracts, the fact that if you can curse yourself by continuously thinking that you're never going to be rich, by saying that, by thinking that, by putting emotion into that, that will curse you, right? Where do you think those thoughts are coming from? Now understand, all those thoughts may not all come from the source I'm saying now. That could come from your programming, and that programming could have been put in there in you as a child. But the people that programmed you that way could have got it from what I'm about to talk about. And truth be told, I mean, we have no idea. When you logo, if you ever look up the definition, if you have never looked up the definition of the word logo, you really should. Okay, because just seeing that in the Webster's dictionary will probably floor you. And if you don't have the right dictionary, then yeah, it'll just say a corporate fucking name for a business title or something incorporated, blah, 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 blah. But the real definition is something completely different. Well, not completely different, but Fraser went through it on his channel. I was like, really? That's the definition? And I went to, I want to say Webster's or one of the other ones that he cited. It was like, wow, that's crazy. But anyways, the McDonald's sigil or symbol or logo, and with the arches. Anybody can program any symbol to mean anything, okay? And if they do that, if you're a magical practitioner, you know, I've already went through the process of putting sigils up in plain sight in your home to use your family's mind to help your magic. They don't know what you program that sigil to be. You know. So every time they look at it and focus on it, their mind power is focusing that power into your desire. So the McDonald's arches, what do we know what that means? No. We just think it stands for the M. You know, color of fries, or it's golden arches. You don't know what they program that to be. That could be anything. That could be that you crave their food once a fucking month, once a week. That you get a subtle addiction to their food every time you see that. You don't know what they fucking program that to mean. And this can go for any and everything. Why do you think advertisements spend so much on such little time? Radio, TV, why do you think on YouTube there's 10 seconds that you have to watch before you get to skip the ad? And what do you think they play the same ones over and over and over again? It's like affirmation. Repetition is the father of learning. The more you see that 10 seconds of that same fucking visualization, that same picture, that car, that food, that whatever they're trying to sell you, it's getting into your head. It doesn't need much time. It just needs repetition. The length of time isn't important. To sit down there and teach someone is not important. It's the repetition that's important. I'm getting a little off topic here, but the point I wanted to hit that was, if you don't understand sigils, you don't understand logos, you don't understand the subconscious mind, you don't understand that seeing stuff over and over again anchors it in your head even more, all right, then you will be deceived. And once again, you're using your mind power for someone else's purposes. That's what you're doing. So let's talk about, before I got into that, I was talking about banishing your thoughts and all that. Or I didn't really say that, I was talking about cursing yourself. So the other half of that is the thoughts that are coming around you that you have to banish. If you haven't started this process, you really should. Banishing anything negative that comes in your mind. And, I don't know if I need to give you examples, but to give you an example, it would be, your baby's going to sleep at night and you're worried that she's going to stay awake and you're going to have a hard night. And oh and behold, that's what it starts happening. She keeps waking up and she won't sleep and she's fighting it even though she's tired. Well, you're thinking about that. You thought that. You gave that power. You focused. Well, the minute you start thinking that, oh shit, my baby's going to be up all night, it's going to be a hard night, I'm going to be so fucking tired for work tomorrow. The minute you start thinking that crap, you should banish, reject, deny that thought. You're not banishing your baby. You're not rejecting your baby. I reject the idea that my daughter is going to be up all night. I deny the idea that my daughter's going to be up all night. You say that until it stops coming. And it might keep coming faster or over and over again, but eventually it will stop. Like I said, if you replace the word thought with spirit, you might look at this in a whole different fucking way. There's a spirit around you trying to keep your baby up all night just to piss you off and keep you in a low vibrational fucking zone so you can't go and record or can't go and do your studies or can't go and do this or can't go and do that. If you think about it that way, then you're going to be more apt to say, I banish, I banish, I banish, I banish you. Get the fuck away from me. I banish you. And it will. Then you might move on to someone else in your house. And if you notice these things aren't going away, well, do a cleansing, do a lesser banishing of the pentagram, do a ritual. You don't always have to go to temple. You can light a candle in your kitchen, ask anybody not to come in, and do the whole thing in there. You can say the words in your head and just do the movements with your arms. Or just say the words out loud and do the movements in your head, or do it all in your head, or do it all out loud. Doesn't matter. You get to choose. Play around with this shit. Do it different ways. You have to do this shit every day. You might as well spice it up. The more you do something different, the more you change your routine, the better for you. The more interesting it'll be and all that, and you'll see what works for you. Because some days you might not be able to go down to temple. Some days you might not be in town. So if you're driving or someone else is driving, I've done rituals with my eyes closed trying to be sleeping. I've done rituals with my eyes open. I've done things talking to people. That's how often I practice this, that I can have a conversation, not a very lively one, where I'm supposed to be listening to the person, and you should listen to people when they talk. But I've had conversations with people where I'm doing the lesser banishing or the Kabbalistic cross or the middle pillar. I'm in that process of my thing. They started talking to me, so I didn't want to be rude and stop and be like, shh. I'm doing some Kabbalistic shit in my head. I'm doing some meditation. I'm doing a ritual in my head. No, I just let them talk, and I just and then I'll ask them a question to keep them talking so that I can keep doing what I gotta do. And yeah, it's not hard to do. So keep it fresh in your head. But those ideas, those thoughts, those things. If you're still watching TV or listening to radio, or I'm not telling you to get rid of Facebook or any social media, especially if you own a business or something. That shit can be very powerful, very important. But if you're gonna scroll through your news feed and not really watch anything, or there's gonna be a bunch of ads on there, and you're gonna be picking this up, or a bunch of people on your list have negative comments, and they're self-cursing or cursing other people or you, and you might not even see it, and you may see it, but you're going to have ideas later that are going to be surrounded by this, someone complaining about their job all the time and their life sucking and all that. And then you go lay down on the couch and you're like, oh, fuck, a job that you don't really hate or anything like that. And you don't really mind. All of a sudden you're getting the thoughts coming in like, fuck, it would be nice if I didn't have to fucking work tomorrow, And you decide to call in sick out of nowhere, which I'm not saying don't do. I mean, I'm all for fucking missing work and shit like that if you're working a 9 to 5, which luckily I don't have to fucking do anymore. But point is, that thought wasn't your own. Most of your thoughts aren't your own. That's something around you. That's something you might have picked up from Facebook or watching TV, watching a show about a wealthy family that kid's never worked a day in his life, or your friends on Facebook complaining, oh, it's Sunday, fucking work tomorrow, bullshit. I hate the 9 to 5 fucking drive, slave, fucking bullshit, blah, blah, blah. Well, now that thought's around you because your subconscious picked it up. And it's the same thing for these Illuminati fucking groups or these elite groups or the powers that be. Just saying those things, those words, you're praising them every time. They put that out there. They put all this everybody who's out there dissing the Illuminati, okay? Not everybody is dissing the Illuminati to help the Illuminati, but understand that in their ignorance, in their deceived fucking shit, they are actually helping them. They think they're bringing fucking destruction, and they think they're fucking, they think they're exposing them, but they're not exposing shit. They're just regurgitating information that everybody already fucking knew anyways, and just trying to get hits off of it, most likely. And they're just helping them. They're giving them more fucking power. They get more people to focus on it. They get more people to focus on something that they shouldn't be focused on. They're just giving them more fucking power. That's all. And you shouldn't be adding to that. So that's a little bit what I have to say about the deceiving things. He who will deceive, you should stop calling them Illuminati. I'm not saying you should stop watching it, because if you like watching it, then you like watching it, and that's fine. I'm not here to tell anybody to stop watching anything that they enjoy watching, or but I'm just trying to help you understand that you're not going to help yourself, and more importantly, you're going to help something that you're against. Anybody, and I don't want to point anybody out, single anybody out, but if you're focused on something you don't like, unless you're really giving good options on how to fight against it, okay, unless you're actually trying to organize people or petition against something or not, if you're literally just sitting there fucking complaining about something without giving any solutions, then you're really not doing much. You're just getting people to focus on how shitty things are and not helping anybody out, really. So you're better off to focus on your own life and fix your situations, maybe create some wealth so you can travel and organize against, or at least make your family life a bit better, or your family situation a bit better, or your financial or your love life a bit better, so that those things won't seem as bad. Because like I said in a previous video, when you find your passion, every area of your life gets better. When you realize that we're all just apart cells of God, this whole fucking planet, we're all just different cells of God, from the trees to the grass, the insects to the birds, to the fucking ground, to us, everything. We're all just different parts of God. We have different cells. We have bone cells. We have fucking skin cells. We have blood cells. We have all these different kinds of cells. Well, that's all we are to God. On as above, so below. That was what my last episode was about. And once you realize that, you get in sync with God, none of this shit's going to matter as much. The Illuminati never goes away, but people that don't focus on it anymore don't have them as a problem anymore. They don't have to worry about them. And that's all I was ever saying, there's a lot of Trump crap going on, a lot of bad things going on, but I don't worry about it because I'm working on me. And that stuff's not going to go away. If I focus on that stuff, it's not going to change anything. For one, I can't even vote in the States, but it can't change anything by me focusing on it. But what I can change is my personal circumstances. And that's what I'm going to focus on. So yeah, if these groups are making egregores and they are making sigils and they are giving us subliminals and programming us through the TV, and they are there's thought forms around us, that are scaring us and trying to keep us in a low vibrational field. Well, if you don't do anything to counter that, if you're just adding to that and telling people that's what's happening and shit like that, well then you're not doing anything to help. But to help, well, yeah, become aware of this shit, and instead of putting more focus and focused energy into that crap, you make your own fucking sigils and you make your own fucking thought forms, and you shut off the fucking TV and you fucking start doing some banishings, whether it's banishing the thoughts or doing the banishing pentagrams ritual. That's how you counter this shit and you make things better. And then once you're from a well-grounded, depolarized place, then maybe you teach people how to do this shit too. Because the less people actually focusing on that crap, the better off we are. You can say you fight fire with fire and go fucking take a gun and go blow off someone's fucking face that you don't like. And you know what? For all the bad things they did, they may deserve that. But how many people are actually going to go fucking do that? But how much more likely is it that people are actually going to pick up magic and start training their fucking mind and learning how to banish these terrible thoughts and not putting their focus into this crappy shit? And then by not focusing on something that you don't like, the fucking thing will go away. Because what you're focusing on, you're going to bring. So if you're focusing on the crap, you're going to get the crap. But if you're focusing on the good shit, well then yeah, you're not giving any energy to that. When more people see you getting what you want, well then they're going to want to do that. So if no one else is focusing on the Illuminati, how many fucking videos are there going to be out there? Not too many. How many videos about how to manifest what you want are going to come out? A fucking shit ton. If everybody's doing it and getting results, everybody's going to start making videos. Then all the copycats are going to make videos. There's going to be a few people still trying to focus on the bad shit, but if no one's getting any results or any hits from that and everybody wants to learn how to make themselves better, well, that's where all the focus energy is going to be. And people will get the results because this shit does fucking work. I'm proof, and there's so many people out there that have proven it. But anyways, let's take a little break and I'll be right back.
And the iron rods. The guns, the iron rods, Pierce, didn't do it. The tyrants did it. Hitler took the guns. Stalin took the guns. Mao took the guns. Fidel Castro took the guns. Hugo Chavez took the guns. And I'm here to tell you, 1776 will commence again if you try to take our firearms. Doesn't matter how many lemmings you get out there on the street begging for them to have their guns taken. We will not relinquish them. Do you understand? That's why you're going to fail, and the establishment knows no matter how much propaganda, the Republic will rise again when you attempt to take our guns. My family in the Texas Revolution against Santa Anna, my family was at the core on both sides starting that because Santa Anna came to take the guns at Gonzales, Texas. Pierce, don't try what your ancestors did before. Why don't you come to America? I'll take you out shooting. You can become an American and join the Republic. You finished? Yes, I am finished.
One of the really cool things about being a magician, at least for me personally, is being able to bear witness to synchronicity. Seemingly random, coincidental events that really aren't random or coincidental at all. Many times you'll have a question that you'll either stumble across the answer later, or it'll just pop into your head and you'll just know the answer. And typically when that happens, within hours or days, you'll come across something that will confirm that answer for you. And this is one aspect of how synchronicity works. It wasn't very long after I had uploaded the video lesson yesterday on polarity that I came across this video of Alex Jones being interviewed by Piers Morgan on gun control, which confirmed everything that I was talking about in that lesson. Because I was wondering if I was presenting things in a way that most people who listen to it can understand, and at a pace that people can understand, because there's so much to all of this. Didn't I say that talking to a polarized person is sometimes like talking to a 5-year-old or a spoiled, bratty child?
So the Bush administration was part of a conspiracy.
Well, he said never let us tolerate to murder. I can speak in this accent as well.
Yeah.
The
But is that what you
government,
believe?
Hitler firebombed his own Reichstag, Pierce, to bring in martial law in Germany, April 27th, 1933. Governments have staged terror attacks throughout history or allowed terrorists to attack as a pretext to invade and enslave the populations. I probably own more than 50 firearms. Many of them have increased in value 2, 3, or even 4 times. I sleep very comfortably outside Austin, Texas, knowing that I can defend my family.
And I was also talking about how part of being balanced is knowing when to shut up and listen, and the importance of silence.
You finished?
Yes, I am finished. You will not take my right. You go through background checks to get guns. How about Prozac? You know the number one. Oh, that's a big sponsor, isn't it? Or that whole class of drugs.
Let me ask you a question.
Oh, got to cut that off, don't you?
But why would you
And
not?
so did Mal.
Why would you?
Why is the government arming to the teeth against us?
Alex, I don't
What
know.
about Fast and Furious?
Alex,
Why did our government ship guns
calm
into
down.
Mexico?
Alex,
To blame the Second Amendment?
let's have a debate.
A false flag?
Alex,
To blame the Second Amendment?
I get accused.
Why'd they blow up Building 7 down the street here in New York?
I get accused when I get you guys on of talking over you, of being rude. I'm trying to be civil.
Now, truthers, did this so-called interview help further your cause, or did it serve to help further polarize the people on the issue? And I had talked about how gun control is their hot topic polarization issue now. That and taxes. See, Saturn's in Scorpio right now, and it's going to be that way for a little over 2 more years. When Saturn was in Libra, it was gay marriage, but you don't hear much about that since Saturn's moved out of Libra. Now, I've seen Alex Jones talk calmly and rationally when being interviewed, but on topics that they want to polarize people, they don't want calm and rational. And you can speak a lot of truth, but body language and the way you conduct yourself is 90% of all communication. Do you think that they don't know that? Honestly? I mean, I can speak a lot of truth, but if I'm acting like a raving lunatic, that's what's going to come across. The truth is going to be negated, and the words you're saying aren't going to matter much. The best way to further polarize those in support of banning guns is to act overly aggressive, hostile, and unbalanced to where they fear that you shouldn't have a gun. I couldn't have been provided a more perfect example of everything that I was talking about at that level. So thank you, Alex Jones. Synchronicity also happens as a result of your magic. Now, synchronicity rise.
Alright, so that was Frederick Xavier there, once again, one of my most favorite people that I've learned so much from, so valuable. Last time I played him, I played the ending where he says visit him at Frederick Xavier on Twitter and Facebook and on Patreon, where Patreon users get first the videos before they come up for YouTube. So I just wanted to say that because I think I emailed him saying I'm just going to use his things, that I'm just whoever I am, and permission and all that, and I don't use much of his videos, and I'm just using it to prove a point and prove a lesson, but I don't want to take away from his videos by any means, because I do want to promote his stuff, which I have been doing from the get-go. You guys should really go check out Frederick Xavier. You will get a wealth of knowledge from him, and you can tell by his voice that he's depolarized, and even when he's attacked or talks about losing his pet, he did have maybe some very subtle reactions, because that is, traumatic, but for the most part, he still remains very calm, relaxed. So he does truly know what he's fucking talking about, and I can't stress checking out his shit enough, because it's truly changed my life. So I put these things on here just to prove a point, and what he was hitting was kind of the reason the stuff I was getting at. His video was about synchronicity, but whereas mine was more about how they put on a show. I mean, whenever Alex Jones started talking about Prozac, he said, "Oh, you got to cut me off now," and the other guy hadn't cut him off yet. And then after he said that, the next thing he said, he cut him off, almost like a subtle cue. Like, oh, you missed a spot to cut me off, but they probably won't notice, so now you got to cut me off. And he did. They played a part. It was just all acting. But anyways, my next episode, I'm going to get into the stuff. Just to let you know, it's just going to be about how to program water and the do's and don'ts and the things, how I did it. Anyways, have a great day, guys.